Greetings, everyone. Good morning, or evening, or afternoon, good night, whatever your time zone. You're really welcome to this Sangha Live space. Just want to check that you can hear me clearly and well. I feel a bit out of practice. I haven't done one of these for a while and also been away from this setup for a couple of weeks. So just wanting to check the sound is coming through clearly as we gather together in this wonderful, wonderful space, and just feeling so much appreciation to be here this morning, to be with all of you, and to feel this community gathering together. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for the thumbs up about the sound. We can flow in beautifully. And so this community of fellow practitioners journeying together, and this week exploring this theme of unconditional friendliness together. I'm really, really glad to be here. For those of you who maybe don't know me, my name is Zohar. I'm one of the teachers on these daily meditation sessions, and connecting with you from lovely Bridport, West Dorset in the UK. Could see some of the other members of the Sangha from Bridport here today. So nice to be here together in this way. And as always, the session today will include a reflection on the theme and then a guided practice and time for some questions together at the end. And I'll say more about the questions when we get there. So I want to begin the reflection this morning with something that I'm sure I've said here before, but this is the kind of underlying insight that we're interested in. We want to keep in our awareness as we practice formally and informally in our lives. Yeah, that's quite an introduction. And that is that when there is an experience, any moment of an experience, which means any moment that there's awareness of something, and a knowing of that knowing, we can say, there is always, if we check in, when there's an experience, there will be an object in our attention, and there will be a way of relating to that object. And these two factors contribute or are crucial to the creation of a moment of experience. So, anything. So right now, I keep noticing that my camera might be a little bit crooked, so I'm a little bit like that on the screen. Yeah, so that's a moment of experience, right? So there can be the object in attention is that visual, sense, and the way of relating, may be humor. It might be a sense of, oh, why didn't I notice it before? Some kind of rejection. So in any moment, these two are factoring in the experience. And actually, if we can say, if there's humor, the experience is just, a thing. It's not a big deal. If there's rejection, we might kind of have a sense of, this is really unpleasant. So it builds the experience in a certain way. The sense of this way of relating, or how we're relating to the object. And another way that we sometimes break this down, we say when there's an experience, there is the what we're paying attention to, and there's the how. The what and the how. And this week, we are going to work a lot with the how. And actually, it's a lot of what we do in practice anyway. But this week, really emphasizing the how we're paying attention, or the way we're relating, yeah, to the object in attention, exploring the way of relating. Because the way of relating shapes our experience, shapes our experience. From this range that we explore in Dharma practice, that whole range shapes it towards well-being, or shapes it towards ill-being, or the whole range in between. So the way of relating has a huge impact on that, and it's where we have quite a lot of opportunities, possibilities, and agency to kind of both in the moment shift our way of attention, and also over time cultivate those ways of relating that will bring us more towards the well-being and less towards the ill-being. Yeah, the stress, the distress, the dukkha in Pali. And so, yeah, we're interested in the way of relating, and we're particularly interested in this way of relating of friendliness. Yeah. So, friendliness as a way of relating to experience. That's what we're going to explore today in particular. And we can reflect for ourselves what happens when we nourish that intention of friendliness, when we bring friendliness to meet something in our lives. How does that impact what unfolds? How does that impact what unfolds? If I just use this example that just came in that moment, I'm here and I notice, even though I came in at, half an hour ago and I checked, I didn't quite notice that my camera was crooked, and now I feel a bit funny. And actually really quite interesting, even though it's the camera, I actually feel as if I'm leaning a little bit to one side. So it's interesting in the body, just shaped on the visual. Anyway, if I bring an attitude of friendliness towards that, there's ease, there's spaciousness, there's the capacity to allow for that, there's the capacity to attend to that. Just opens up the space. And if I bring the opposite, the unfriendliness, contraction, more ill-being, more blame, more judgment, perhaps, less capacity to attend. So we really have this, it's like these dials on experience where we can play with the way of relating. We can kind of amp up something, or dial it down. And when we speak about friendliness as a way of relating, how is that going to relate to our practice, which we'll do in a moment? What we're going to emphasize today is receiving phenomena with friendliness. That's what we're going to explore. Receiving phenomena with friendliness. So it's kind of like the attitude, the way of relating, the atmosphere of the heart and mind. We are attuning it towards that. It doesn't mean we're forcing it. It doesn't mean that if we meet the opposite of friendliness, then there's something wrong with us. It's a cultivation of intention. And we're exploring this, and we're skill building. It's a skill that we're cultivating to attune to this attitude of friendliness. Friendliness in attention. I think it's John Kabat-Zinn that says, mindfulness is kindfulness. So we're just doing, a usual practice of, paying attention to the breath or to sound, but we're emphasizing the kindness, the friendliness, the non-judgment in the attention. That's what we're emphasizing. And it can be helpful to think of friendliness quite broadly. So right now I said, kindness, receptivity, non-judgment, all these kind of opening up what we mean. but also including in the sense of friendliness, not just the warmth that we might associate with friendliness, but also the interest and the curiosity. So when we feel friendly towards somebody, we're also really interested in them, right? Or to some degree interested and curious. And just had a kind of a image for that pop into my mind. Some of you may remember my study overlooks a park where dogs come to play. And yesterday I was watching two dogs meeting for the first time, I don't know. But the way they engaged with each other was very friendly. And if we think about when dogs meet, very curious, right? That friendliness, the wanting to play. One of them was a puppy, wanting to play with a lot of curiosity towards each other, a lot of interest in each other. So if we kind of remember the friendliness, not just the warmth, but also that curiosity and interest, like dogs meeting in a park or when we're with a good friend. What we might appreciate in the way they're paying attention to us or in how we're paying attention to them. Okay, so hopefully this gives us a sense of our practice today, and let's go into a practice. Take some time to explore this. So if you need to stretch before you settle into your posture, or you're not in your posture yet, then please do it. Stretch, care for the body, that attitude of friendliness and interest as you do so. And when you're ready, just taking your posture, taking your seat or your stand or your reclining posture, if that's the most suitable posture for you right now. And with that attitude of friendliness already present, in attention, that kindfulness, checking in with the body to see if there's any adjustments, attunements that can be made so that the body is as supported, steady, stable, and balanced as possible. And feeling how the awareness is settling into the body as we do that, as we check in. Inviting the awareness more deeply and fully into the body. Using the sensations of contact between the body and that which supports the body. In order to collect and ground. The awareness in the body. Gather the awareness in the body. And then gradually inviting the awareness to open from the sensations of contact, to expand through the space of the body. Opening through the whole body. And filling the whole body. So feeling the body here, grounded and also open, awareness soft and open through the whole space. Remembering the intention of practice as a movement, as an act of kindness, of friendliness in the world and towards ourselves. And feeling that intention, whatever it may mean for you. And then opening the awareness, soft and open through the whole body. And we're going to open to find our anchor of attention for this practice time. And so this could be the breath for many of us, or the contact sensations of the body and that which supports it. If the body's not an appropriate place for you, it could also be sound. Body's not an appropriate place for attention. It could also be sound. So choosing one of these as the anchor of attention that you'll use through this practice time. And then receiving the anchor that you've chosen into attention. This remembrance of practice as an act of kindness. Practice as an act of care. Receiving the breath or the sound with friendliness, in kindness. And that's what we'll be exploring. Let's do that in silence for a while to find our own way with this. Mindfulness. Receiving the anchor. Friendliness in kindness. So opening to the unfolding of experience in this moment, noticing what you notice. Without judgment, with a curiosity that is kind and friendly. Emphasizing groundedness and openness in the body, through the body. Moment by moment, meeting the anchor of attention, the breath, the sound, the body sensations, with care, with presence. We need to re-establish that connection with the anchor. We do that with kindness and friendliness. Remember, this is in our best interests. This is an act of kindness, not of harshness, that we're cultivating. Doing this as often as we need to. Doesn't matter if it's every moment. Keep doing it. Keep cultivating that attitude, aligning with that intention, opening to the anchor in attention with friendliness and kindness. Once more, turning to experience, to receive in friendliness and kindness whatever is arising in this moment. If it's the anchor in attention and deepening that interest, that curiosity, that receptivity of kind attention in the way of relating to it, in the way of meeting the sound, the breath, the body sense. If it's a distraction that we're meeting or a difficulty, can we emphasize the kindness and attention when we meet this too? Kindness rather than harshness. This is what's unfolding. Can I acknowledge that and with kindness and friendliness, gather the attention back with the anchor that I've chosen? Work skillfully with the distraction if it's too sticky for the mind to disengage from. Work skillfully, emphasizing that friendly, curious attitude as we do so. So here's another opportunity, a moment of experience to be met with kindness, to be met with friendliness, tuning in to the beauty of that intention, coming back to the anchor of attention over and over again as an act of kindness, an act of care towards yourself, towards the world. And when the bell rings in a moment, keeping that intention of friendliness and kindness as present as we can, as we perhaps open the eyes, move the body, doing that with friendliness. So that friendliness and attention continuing as we transition. Before I make some time for questions, I just want to say a few words about dhanas. you, I think, all know through being here. Um, these sessions are offered in the spirit of Dana, freely offered, um, as an act of friendliness and kindness to the world and to all of us here. And when we practice Dana with that invitation to also bring that friendliness, kindness to our practice of Dana as we offer support to the platform and for the teachings, which is myself this week. Seeing if we can tune into that, feeling I'm receiving friendliness through this offering, freely offered. Here it is. And then I'm joining in that movement of kindness. I'm joining in that movement of friendliness through offering whatever support I'm able to. Yeah. And if you're not able to, you're equally welcomed here, in friendliness and kindness. And noticing how that impacts, our experience when we relate to Dana in that way. And so, as I kind of maybe already said, that's the link. These sessions are offered in that spirit, and any support that you can give supports both the costs of Sangha Live at the platform to make this possible and available, and supports my livelihood in offering these teachings. So it's very, very gratefully received. So yeah, time for questions. If you wish to ask a question, a wonderful way of doing that would be through the chat. If you can begin your question with the word question in capital letters, that alerts me to the fact that this is a question, then I can read it. And I will do my best to respond. All questions are welcome. They can also be reflections, things you noticed in your practice, priority to things that were mentioned today or that you experienced today, but it may be something else to do with your practice that you'd like to ask. So it's all welcome. Yeah. So let's see if anything comes up for people. In the meantime, I can see that people are mentioning the kind of sense of keeping this thread going in the day, and that can be a really, really valuable practice. Depending on kind of your self-knowledge of your kind of tendencies and habits, and also on what your day is going to look like, I would say we can do it in two ways. One would be to say, okay, when I do particular things, like there will be like a mindfulness bell, they will remind me, or a kindfulness bell, to pay attention with kindness. Yeah, so it may be when I put the kettle on, it may be when I walk through a doorway. That's one of my favorites. It may be when the phone rings or there's an alert. Yeah, so maybe like these little moments, things that we do. Maybe when I go to the toilet, that I do anyway, and I'm going to then make these a mindfulness reminder. When I do this, just breathe for a few moments and receive the breath in kindness, or listen and do that with kindness, or just receive whatever's in that experience with kindness. So that may be one way, especially if you're more busy, it can be helpful to have these handholds, these mindfulness non-bells, mindfulness moments sprinkled through the day. And another way, depending again on how you know yourself, might be just that intention. That is what I'm going to intend towards, kind of incline the heart mind towards in myself, and can also be really beautiful to notice kindness in others. So I'm inclining the attention to a way of relating of kindness to experience and friendliness, receiving experience, but I'm also inclining the mind to see kindness in the world, wherever it appears. So yeah, let's wait and see if there's any questions. Give it a few more moments. just hearing the seagulls, and that they're making me think of another um, possible way of practicing with this in the day is taking something like that. So I've got a lot of seagulls where I am. You might have another um, kind of noise or sound that's around. Yeah, if you're in a windy place, it might be the sound of the wind. If you're in a city, it might be the sound of traffic. Um, so it may be that we take that sound, yeah, as a reminder, or we choose to hear it in that way. So I'm going to choose to hear the seagulls today as um, a call of kindness, a call to friendliness, and we can do the same thing with other um, phenomena that are already in our environment, and attune to them in that way and say, that's a call to kindness, a reminder of kindness in the world, and inclining the mind towards it. Yeah. Busy and happy sparrows, yes. Yeah, we do too. They're not as noisy as the seagulls. Yeah, wonderful. Well, if there's no questions, I'm unused to this happening, but there's always a kind of a first thing and first time for something, and it's really wonderful to meet it with kindness and friendliness. If there's no questions, um, then for those who wish, we can use the remaining time to be here together in a kind uh, and appreciative silence. And for those who wish, we can say goodbye for today, and really looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. So, yeah, go well. Thank you. And I'll leave the stream going so that those who wish to sit for longer can, and those who wish to say goodbye in the chat have plenty of time to do that.